of the structure that could help the Reggae Boys improve going forward. And Liz, how confident are you that things could turn around, not just in result, but in terms of performance of the Reggae Boys?
I mean, right now it's 50-50. I think it's 50-50 for me. It depends how willing the coaching staff is to change things around, shuffle around the deck. But I have my own ideas of how I think with the current squad, how Jamaica can, one, turn things around now, but also move forward with this system to try and help them to qualify for the World Cup.
Well, let's explore a couple of systems, right? Because again, you're going to be going across to the board and
our favorite time,
our favorite time, and then you'll be going through in stages as to what we can utilize with the personnel that we actually have at our disposal.
Yeah, so first of all, I know how the comments usually go. I would just like to let it be said. Don't just see what I'm putting up here and say, Lige is going mad, where SportsMax get that boy from, etc., etc. Just wait. I'm going to explain this very well, so just give me some time, all right? That goes for you too as well.
Of course, no pressure at all.
Yeah, so based on what Jamaica have at their disposal, I would say that this is a system that I think would be the best for them to get results at current. I know it looks negative with the 3 at the back formation, but when you see how I set up the team, I think you will see how attacking it can be. Obviously, I've gone with Blake in goal, a back 3 of Bell, a left centre-back. He's going to be very crucial. Pinnock, centre-back. Richard King, right centre-back. Karoy Anderson, I'm going to bring in into midfield, actually, alongside John Russell. Lembi Keesat, right midfield. Bailey and Gray, 2 attacking midfielders. And Warner Brown up top. But very important, Cephas at left midfield. And I'm going to explain now in possession how this system will be set up. So here is the in possession system. And of course, I have to give much more of a highlight to this one and break down how I think Jamaica, this might look a little confusing. This is a 3-2-5, 3-1-6 setup. And it's very similar to what Jamaica do regardless. But when you look at the positioning, obviously the back 3 is going to remain the same with Blake. And first of all, I'd like to address the build-up. Lately, it's been Hayden and then an inverted fullback in Latibodere coming in. That was the case with Lowe and Latibodere is not a good enough pivot. So what I've done is revert to type and using 2 central midfielders. Russell would drop a bit here, and in the initial build-up phase, it would move to more of a 3-2. That way, Jamaica would have the numerical superiority against most teams. When it comes on to in build-up, we can also include Blake in that build-up scenario, making it a 4-2 when the centre-back split and put Blake in between, beside Pinnock. So that could be an option. So I think in build-up, that would be sorted. But once Jamaica get out of that initial build-up phase, the first build-up phase, and they get into the second build-up phase, this will more look like what I think they will do, a 3-1-6 with Russell in that in-between role between joining that attacking unit and helping out defensively. The defensive midfielder would be Karoy Anderson, and I think this would give the centre-back space to attack when they need to, that being King and Amari Bell on either side. But I think the important part would be how the attackers behave. So, as I said, Cephas would be playing in that quote-unquote left wing-back role, but he would be here holding the width on the left. Gray in that inside, that half space on the left. Bailey, half space on the right. Lembi Keesa holding width on the right. Now, if we're going to put this into practice, I would say a movement that Jamaica could do, because it's all about movements and counter movements. Say Richard King is on the ball here. One pattern of play that Jamaica could do, you need movements. And as I said, a movement that the striker could do, Warner Brown, in case Jamaica can't build up short, dart into this space here, into that right-hand channel. Lembi Keesa will be holding the width here. And if King needs a short option, he has the option of Russell. He has the option of Bailey dropping here as well. So there's the numbers coming from. So if he wants to go long or short, there's numbers on that right-hand side to build up. Because of these movements, then we would need Gray to come inside a little bit to occupy this central space. So when the ball is worked up into this area, say Bailey gets on it here, because of Cephas's position here, it will create a chasm of space on this side, allowing whichever player to get the ball in this area to then feed it wide, for Cephas to be one-on-one with his defender at all points. So I think this could be a very promising attacking shape, very similar to what they already do, but definitely something that Jamaica can look into for sure.
Leger, you're making a lot of assumptions here, I think, because it's banking on us being able to play through in
Not necessarily, because I mentioned that it could be two different ways. You could either play the ball short through the central midfielders, or you could go long. That's why Warner Brown.
You're going long to Warner Brown as opposed to on the flank.
It's just into an area, because going long is not only to play into someone. You could also having players in the position there to win the second ball, and Jamaica would have 3 players there to win the ball in those scenarios.
Yeah, Lish, can you explain how your system, as you are devising it, would address the connectivity issue of the team, which has been missing? Well, it certainly was missing on the Guatemala game.
You see, a big reason why that issue was missing was not necessarily because of the system, because it was the same system that was used against Guatemala in the World Cup qualifier. The issue was mainly the profile in that area. With Lowe not being a natural central midfielder, he wasn't confident in taking the ball in certain areas, and his natural way of playing is to always go forward. If you have a natural central midfielder or 2 natural central midfielders in that area, they will be better, I think, at just moving the ball around, short passes. Neither Karoy Anderson nor John Russell, I would say, are rangy central midfielders that are going to try and ping the ball around. I think if they just keep it calm in that area, that's the instruction, they can do that. And as I said, Jamaica has central defenders that can play the ball long, especially Richard King. We know of his passing prowess. So I think Jamaica in this sort of shape can be very multifaceted, whether they want to play it through the lines, because they will have options to punch it through in these attacking midfield areas, or they want to play it long. And of course, I had to mention the defensive shape as well, because, you know, that was really what I was harping on when it comes on to why Jamaica struggles so much against Guatemala. So if we were to go to the Jamaican defensive setup, what I think they look like defensively now, this is what I think they will look like in a high press. As I said, Cephas' role will be very important. Obviously, he was slated as a left wing back, but in a high press, I would love to see Gray come infield a bit, and then Jamaica revert back to that 4-4-2 shape that was serving them very well when McLaren just came in. And this allows, I think, a lot of fluidity in terms of how they press, but also just keeping a shape and stopping teams from playing through this central area. Because you have these 2 central midfielders here. These 2 players will be tasked with stopping the ball coming through. But even if it does come through, these central midfielders, if they're ready to jump when needs be, if they're ready to drop when needs be, can cover up all of those half spaces and between the line passes that Jamaica were really guilty of. And then also, when Jamaica have a lead to defend, we have to go to what they would do really defensively in a low block as well. And this is how I think they would look in a low block. It would mainly be, in my eyes, a 5-2-3. Sometimes it could even drop even deeper than that into more of a 5-4-1. This is when I think Jamaica would have a lead. Jamaica would have a lead and really want to defend it. Gray could drop here, Bailey could drop here, and it could become much more of a 5-4-1. You could even sub off Cephas in this instance, bring on a Lay. And I think this system allows, one, a lot of fluidity in possession, a lot of fluidity out of possession, and can make Steve McLaren, or allow him to switch systems within a game, while also playing, one, your best players on the pitch at the same time, and 2, playing them in a role that I think can suit them very well.
Well, top stuff as usual, Leger.
Thank you very much, Donald. I appreciate it.
We've run out of time because, you know, that's what we usually do on the zone when Leger is on set speaking about football. But it's been brilliant as always. And you're saying that based on what you've done here, you're confident for us to get by the next game. The real test, I shouldn't say a real test, right? That's disrespectful to Guadeloupe, who we face next. But there's a test after that against Panama that you believe that this could be successful when we play the Panamanians in that final group game.
Yeah, one thing I will say, you know, first of all, I said that this is what I would do. Are Jamaica going to do this? I highly doubt it.
You highly doubt it?
I doubt they're going to change the system all around and revert to type, but this is what I would do. I saw a couple of comments on the last video saying that maybe I should join the coaching staff. Don't worry, that's going to come soon enough. But Yeah, this is what I would do if I had a
Right.
say. I don't. So I think we might be in for a couple more tough times.
We're up on a break. On the other side of the break, we have At the Track with Lance Whitaker.